Welcome in. I'm Nick Couzin alongside Ben Burchstead, KU distance runner, fresh off of the Stanford Invite. Kind of take us through that. It was the first outdoor meet for the distance runners this year. So
yeah,
what went on? What happened?
Yeah, definitely. So we went out there. We had actually two meets going on. We had the Stanford Invite, as you said, and then the San Francisco State Distance Carnival going on. So Stanford's always fun because it's really high competition and you kind of get to see where you're at to start the year off. And it went pretty well. It was kind of what we call a rust buster, just trying to get your legs back under you, back in the feel of racing again. But yeah, it went pretty well, and Dylan Hodgson, one of our other steeplers, was with me in that race as well, and he did pretty well. So it was definitely a good start for both of us. I think we know where we're at and where we have to build from. So
a lot of the distance runners, they took the indoor season off and focused on the outdoor season. So kind of how does that help a lot of the distance runners taking that time off to put more time towards the outdoor season?
Yeah, so during the indoor season, it's really brutal for distance runners. We did compete as a whole pretty much, but a few of us took some meets off just to kind of, like you said, keep the legs fresh for outdoor, and just a select few usually make it to the Big 12s or past. But the plan for that is to get some good races in and see how far you can make it in the season, and then get prepped for the big one, which is outdoor, because we have some pretty lofty goals this year. So yeah, indoor went pretty well, but we always like to have our sights set after indoor to see what we can do. So
continuing into the outdoor season, you have another meet this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
Down in Arizona?
Yep, going back out west again, so it's always exciting to go out there. And the highest distance, I think, is the 1,500, or they have a 1,500 in a mile. So it's going to be nice for us guys who are mainly, steeplers and down in distance, just because it's a good opportunity to kind of get your legs moving quicker and kind of get that quicker feeling and get that competitive edge back. So I think it'll be a good segue into the next few races for the season.
So going into the stretch after Arizona, you have a lot of meets at home.
Yeah.
And so do you have any goals that you want to get to at a certain point, maybe for the relays or for heading into Big 12s?
Yeah, so for Kansas Relays, it's a really good opportunity. I know we're stacking up the 5K with a few fast guys from Cal Berkeley and KU as well, to try to get some regional marks. You usually have to run under 14:10 in that event to get into regionals. And for steeple, I'll be in that as well. And I think pretty much under 9 flat will get you there. So that's the plan for the majority of the distance runners. But Big 12s is really where we want to show up. That's obviously the most, probably the biggest thing on our coach's mind right now is to bring home a title in Lawrence, which would just be an incredible feeling, and that's what we're all shooting for. So.
Yeah, so what's the expectation for the team this year? Obviously, you guys are coming in as a men's team ranked 16th nationally coming in. So
yeah.
For Big 12s and maybe nationally, what is your expectations for the whole team?
Yeah, so after indoor with distance, but really, you look at the pole vaulters, with all their success, we think that as a big group, we can really do something special. Outdoor is really where we all seem to, as a collective group, show up. And, after getting second last year to Texas, we kind of have a sour taste in our mouth. And we really, the biggest goal right now is to win Big 12s. And then from there, see how many guys and girls we can qualify for regionals, and then hopefully on to nationals, which is the goal for a lot of people because it's a lot more realistic this year for some.
So what's going to be the biggest difference for the team this year? We were talking about earlier that you had the Big 12s at TCU. Now this year it's at home, so you have 3 straight meets at home. So how's that going to be a little bit different?
I think it's going to be nice. We always have these 2 meets. You have the relays and then the Rock Chalk Classic. But I think being able to, we had regionals in Lawrence last year, but to be kind of on that streak of being at home and getting a really good feel for what it's like to be racing back in Lawrence again, I think by that 3rd meet, being the Big 12 meet, we'll definitely be ready to roll and we'll be really comfortable in that position. And there's always something special about, you talk to anyone who goes to the relays, it's just such a cool feeling to be, in Lawrence for a track meet. Not even just the Big 12, but just any track meet. It's such a special place, I think. And, we always have a really good crowd to come out to. And, I think that, like I said, having those 2 meets before will really help us out, I think, in the long run. So.
And what's the most difficult thing about Rock Chalk Park? Obviously, it's a beautiful facility, but as a runner, what is the most difficult part?
Yeah, doing a lot of laps, obviously there can be wind. And with having that wind, you're always, especially if it's on a straightaway, it can hit you, if you're doing the 10K 20 sometimes. And so it's pretty brutal. But, you know, how we try to look at it in the sense of, you know, every single person has to deal with it in the race. It's not just you dealing with it. So, you know, if we can kind of adopt that mindset going into it, we can be prepared for any kind of weather, since it is kind of in the middle of nowhere as a facility, and challenges will always come weather-wise. So, like I said, just be able to tell yourself you're not the only person dealing with this conditions, given it will be that way on race day. So we'll be ready for it. And
you're running two different events, the 1500 and the steeplechase. What's the difference for you, and kind of what you kind of want to get out of this season?
Yeah, so the 1500 is, you know, a really fun event for me. But we kind of use it. I run 2 each year. We kind of use those as a better way to have a stronger finish in my steeple, because steeple is my main event. Last year, making it to regionals definitely solidified that for me, and just being a few spots out of making nationals definitely made me realize that, you know, if I can focus on 1500 a lot more and, you know, kind of developing more closing speed, then I think that will really, you know, aid in my strength as a steepler. So, you know, just kind of try to take each meet as an opportunity to learn from and, you know, get better in each week. So that's you know, the way that we look at it with having 2 events. So.
And last question going here, who is somebody that's one of your teammates that we should all be watching out for?
Yeah, it's really hard to, you know, to pick, but I guess based off of this past weekend, Michael Melgaris, he's a sophomore but a redshirt freshman, ran 14:12 in the 5K, so that is a really, really big step for him. He is just a few seconds off from qualifying for regionals, which is a really big step for someone that young in their running career or collegiate career. You know, and he's been doing all the right things day in and day out, so I'm really excited to see what he can do. So definitely keep an eye out for Michael.
All right, Ben. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Good luck in this stretch. It's going to start getting busy here with outdoor track season in full swing.
Looking forward to it.